The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk-in, entrepreneur. Anything less is unacceptable. The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good evening, and thank you for tuning into the Chelley Roy Show. I am your host, Chelley Roy, and we have an amazing show for you guys tonight. I pray that you guys are having a great week. I pray that you guys are continuing to be safe and sanitized during this pandemic. Guys, I can't stress enough, please wear your masks, please. So before we get into the show, it's always important that we thank our sponsors. The Chelley Roy Show is sponsored by Built on Survival Skills Apparel. We're also sponsored by Liquid Lipo, where you could lose up to 1 pound a day. So any of you guys who are still struggling with trying to get off those unwanted holiday pounds, Liquid Lipo will do the trick for you. I would also like to thank my amazing makeup artist, Miss Amber Singletary. I also want to thank my talented photographer, Beyshan Tucker, my executive producer, Delmis Luther, and last but not least, let's give it up for We the Chic, guys, for this Valentine's decor behind us. Give it up for her, guys. Give it up for her, guys. She helps create and see the vision, because the Chelley Roy Show is the hottest talk show, and we have to keep it spicy. So you guys be sure to check her out on Instagram. That's We the Chic. We have an amazing show for you guys. I am not gonna keep you guys waiting. Up next, we have actor Lamont Elliot. We also have Pastor Quantrell Smith, and we also have Francis Hall and Beyshan Tucker from I'm So DC. You guys stay tuned after the break.
The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk-in, entrepreneur. Anything less is unacceptable. The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show.
Thank you guys. Welcome back to the hottest talk show in the DMV. I am your host, Chelley Roy. My next guest is an actor, a model. He's also a production manager. You guys may have seen him in his most recent film, Guns and Roses. You guys help me welcome Mr. Lamont Elliot. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it.
How are you guys doing during this pandemic, and how has it impacted you? I hope you guys are being safe and sanitized.
Absolutely. Well, we just went on a 5-tour city to promote this movie.
Wow.
Guns and Grams, myself, Hassan Johnson, Felicia Persons, which is AKA Snoop that played in The Wire.
Okay.
DMV's own Clifton Powell, Trey Chaney, and a group of DMV actors, inspired actors that's coming up. So we went to Atlanta. We started out in Baltimore, We're looking to go to Miami and Cali to promote this movie.
Okay.
Before we sit down with Hollywood and negotiate the deal.
That's awesome. So you guys are navigating through this process
Absolutely.
safely, and you're making sure that you're staying safe, which is good. So before we get further into the movie Guns and Grams, and also I know there's another movie that you're working on. Tell everybody who.
I just finished it. It's called
Well, before you jump ahead,
Oh,
I know
sorry.
we're going. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to get into that. So give everybody an idea of who Lamont Elliot is and what's your story.
Well, Lamont Elliot is the basic laid-back guy, very hardworking,
Okay.
persistent, consistent, respectful, very, people-oriented.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I'm very passionate, very hungry, and, on my grind constantly, 24/7.
Those are some very great attributes, for sure. Where are you from? What area did you grow up in?
So I'm actually from Baltimore, Maryland, but I was born in New Jersey, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been a little bit in D.C., Southwest, Pennsylvania, Virginia. So up and down the East Coast.
Okay, the DMV, definitely. My husband is originally from Atlantic City, so I'm familiar with
He
that
might be
area.
family.
So, yeah, he may be, for sure. So tell me a little bit about how you got into acting and what that was like for you.
So actually, before I got into acting, I was doing bodyguarding service at a club called, what is the name of the club? Sugar Ray's in Baltimore, Milton Avenue.
Okay.
And I would work every weekend. And this particular weekend, the club owner, because Sundays I would usually have my days off, just to
Yeah.
regroup and get ready for the week.
Sure.
And the owner asked me, could you work this Sunday? So I'm looking, I'm like, I really don't want to. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. $200 for 4 hours, cash,
Can't beat that.
and beat it.
Yeah.
So that Sunday, I get in the club, and the first person I see I didn't know it was Trey Chaney that played Poot in The Wire.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, I'm armed up, in my security uniform. And, I went outside. So I'm outside flicking it up on Facebook. And the two more actors came down, which was Hassan Johnson that played Weebay, and he played in Belly, iconic, and DMV's own Clifton Powell. So I'm looking like, well, what the heck is going on? Like, as far as I know, I thought it was a local album party.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
Didn't
so-
know that you would have that encounter.
Nah.
Yeah.
So, of course, I checked them. They went in. And the director of Guns and Grams, shouts out to Larry Durr, comes out. He was on the phone with Hollywood. And, he immediately broke crying tears of joy. So a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm just like, he don't have security going forward. So I approached him and gave him my business card, introduced myself, of course.
Right.
And told him how proud and, I was happy that he was progressing. So he gave me his card, I gave him mine, and we met that Monday, and we was on set.
The rest is history. Wow. So it started from a security guard encounter, which
I had no
cultivated-
idea I wanted to be an actor. Like, that was something he introduced me to. While I was on set, he came to me and was just like, look, man, I got the scene for you. If it's perfect. I'm like, man, whatever. Just give me my money. I don't care about nothing else. So he was like, nah, I really do. So he came to me with the script. So I'm like, okay. So, jokingly, I'm like, oh, I'm about to be on somebody's red box of Netflix before what it is now.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, this is going in theaters. And I was like, what? I was like, you want me to do this?
There you go. Yeah.
He was like, you'll be good. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had the bubble guts, I was sweating.
Of course.
I was hurting.
That's normal.
And I'll never forget this. So the first scene that we did was that Saturday at the Brick Oven in Baltimore in Fells Point.
Okay.
And the scene before me was with the Sicilian Mafia. And when it became, for me to be on set and on scene, cameras turned on and
you just went into action.
I murdered it.
It's amazing how we have natural talents and we aren't aware of it until, it's actually time to execute. So give us a little bit of background in terms of what your role is in Guns and Grams and what the movie is about,
So,
for those of us who haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, stand by for that because that'll be coming soon at theaters, AMC all over. So Guns and Grams is basically about the true events that happened in Baltimore on Warwick and well, West Baltimore. I'm gonna say that. I don't want to give them the locations.
Gotcha.
But,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
my character in Guns and Grams was Domino. He plays the goon for Swerve that is Felicia Persons. I'm working for her.
Okay.
So what happened was Money. He was working with the Sicilian Mafia, getting the heroin, and got a new connect. Sicilian Mafia didn't like that, so it becomes this whole big out war that, you know.
Wow.
And then, of course, I set the Sicilian mob boss up to be executed. So I have a very important role in that. But I didn't want to give too much.
It sounds like it. No, that's fine. So what was the preparation like in terms of getting into that character? Because, of course, you said this was your first time. Of course, you were nervous, but then once all the lights were on you, you murdered it. So what was the preparation like getting into character, trying to embody that character for the movie?
Pretty much that street life, you know, that's so much, you
Yeah.
know, it's kind of in you already.
Yeah, I understand.
You've been around that bin in that area. So it wasn't much preparation, but, you know, just making sure, you know, you came with your A game and you was doing what was asked, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. And it sounds like you were open to being coachable too.
Absolutely.
And teachable. So I think that's really important as well. Any upcoming projects that you're working on?
I just finished a project called Navigate.
Okay.
It's about 4 friends who haven't seen each other in 10 years.
Is that a movie as well, or
Yes.
a short film? Okay.
Yes. The director of that is Antonio Jefferson, Love Star Entertainment. It's about 4 friends who haven't seen each other in 10 years.
Wow.
We finally get together within those 10 years. And, you know, of course, you have your problems. You're trying to work it out. You know, you go on this road trip and you know, I don't want to give the whole movie away, but it's something tragic that happens.
Got it.
And, you know, it's a wake-up call to everyday life that we're living today, so.
Okay, that was my next question. So it sounds like it's definitely relatable.
Yeah.
Something that someone that's watching can see themselves in and relate to it. Okay, that's good.
And then also, it's a movie called The Unwilling.
The Unwilling?
The Unwilling.
Okay.
It's about 6 guys that was in prison for 17 years. My father that played Sam Turner, I'm Sam Turner Jr.
Okay.
He's trying to get the relationship back between me and him. I'm just not trying to hear that. You know, I felt some type of way when he killed my mom's boyfriend after he found out they had an affair.
Of course.
So being taken away from my dad for those long period of time and then trying to come back and make it right, which I'm giving him a hard time. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have some amazing things going on at the same time, which is great. You know, we all want to stay busy, and especially if it's something in the profession that we want to be in, which helps cultivate the craft that we're in. So being as though it looks like you're preparing for 3 different movies, how do you prepare for that and not kind of overlap your characters?
Well, with that, those characters, they're different.
Right.
So with
But
that
in
being
terms
said,
of, I guess, just memorizing like the scenes.
well, it's actually digging into where that character's at that point in time and how they're feeling.
Gotcha.
And where they are at that moment.
Gotcha.
So
Makes
that
sense.
really separates everything.
No, that makes sense. Perfect. So what advice would you give for an aspiring actor?
Put the work in. Believe in yourself. Of course, keep God first. Pray. Put the work in. Just continue to put the work in. Of course, promote, advertise, brand yourself. Of course, start a team that believes in you, but really believe in yourself and just put in the work, and everything else will come together.
That's exactly what has to happen. You have to believe in yourself, and I believe you have to have a great support system as well.
Absolutely.
So that's great that you said that. One other thing, the movie Guns and Grams, where can we find that?
Well, we signed a big deal with AMC. I'm actually being in LA next month for Hollywood and AMC to sit down and negotiate a deal to release it all over AMC theaters.
Gotcha, so it's going to be in AMC.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys make sure you check out Lamont Elliot for that particular movie. And what about Navigate?
Navigate will be in all streaming right now. We don't have a release date for that.
Okay.
The Unwilling, it just picked up with a big distributor. Once we have a release date with that, it'll be in all Walmarts, Targets, Best Buys, Barnes and Nobles, and of course, Amazon.
Nice, I love it. Walk me through what are some of your success habits, and what out of that have you been able to hold on to kind of get you to where you are?
Keep pushing no matter what's going on in your life. whether if it's finance, relationship, family, just push. Regardless of what you're going through, how people feel about you. This is a very, very lonely, adventure journey.
Yes,
You're gonna go through some things. You're not gonna want to do this every day, and once you push through and you see the light, it's all rewarding. It's all worth it.
No, and that's interesting you said that in terms of it being a lonely road. So as you're traveling to LA, and I know Baltimore isn't far, but there's going to be other places where you're traveling, do you bring your support system, like your family? Like how do you, what is your support system like?
My manager is always there when I need her. Shouts out to Savvy Events. She works up behind all day and night. Sleepless nights.
Yeah.
So that's.
Well, we can attest to that. Shout out to Savvy Events for sure. She was determined.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She didn't give up, and I love the way she was focused on making sure that we saw you and put you in front of the camera so that we could show the world exactly what it was you were working on. So that's absolutely major. So what are your social media handles, and how would someone be able to get in touch with you?
So my Instagram is business_622, actor Lamont Elliot _622. My Facebook is Lamont Elliot, and you can reach me on Twitter at BigLA87.
Okay. Is there anything else about Lamont Elliot that you want to share that I haven't asked?
I'm coming, so just keep watching.
Yeah.
I'll be out there. I'm coming.
I love that. All right. Well, thank you.
And I appreciate you for having me on. This is everything.
Absolutely. Well, you tell everybody who has the hottest talk show.
The best.
In the DMV.
The best.
Tell them. I need you to tell them so they can hear from your words.
Listen, everybody, this is the best set I've been on. Miss Chelley right here is the truth. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. Get on the show. Yeah, if you don't know, get on the show, because the Chelley Roy Show is the hottest talk show in the DMV, guys. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk in, entrepreneur. Anything less is unacceptable. The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk in, entrepreneur. Anything less is unacceptable.
Thank you guys. Welcome back to the hottest talk show in the DMV. I am your host, Chelley Roy. My next guests are Beyshan Tucker and Francis Hall from I'm So DC. You guys help me welcome them. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So listen, how are you guys doing during this pandemic? You guys doing okay?
We're doing great, Chelley,
Right.
and thank you so much for asking.
Absolutely.
COVID has really taught us a lot
Right?
about being entrepreneurs,
Absolutely.
about just being able to switch up at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotta be
being
to
able
adapt.
to touch the audience, not physically,
Yes.
but through social media.
Yeah.
So it was a test, but we are here.
It was definitely an adjustment.
We
And
are
you guys, I swear, I know you and I met a couple years ago where you actually had a booth inside of Signature Boutique.
Yes.
And now you guys have just soared, which I absolutely love it. Every time I go on Instagram, you guys are coming down my timeline. I'm like, yes.
Every morning like clockwork, I
It's,
wake up.
it's definitely working. I
Thank
would
you.
say keep up what both of you guys are doing because every time you post something, I don't know about anybody else, but every time you post something, I'm like, I want that, I want that, I want that.
Thank you.
So it's definitely working,
Thank
the
you.
presentation and everything. So let's get into it. How did the two of you guys meet?
So we met on Facebook.
Okay.
2016. I think it was January of 2016, and I had lost my phone, so I was
Uh-oh.
communicating on Facebook just through my laptop. Right? And so
okay.
Beyshan is really no stranger to fashion. He's like a serial entrepreneur, and he'll tell
Okay.
you all about it.
I love that.
But at this particular time, he had a store in Georgetown.
Okay. I'm so
And-
DC or a different
No, at this time it was Lavish Bay because again he's a serial
I love
entrepreneur,
it.
right?
I love it.
So I don't know how the page came across. So I sent him an inbox and I'm like, oh, okay, those things look nice in your store. So can I come by and see it? He was like, well, let me know because I'm always busy.
Yeah.
He's always busy.
Right, and time is money.
Yes. So he made time. We met up, and I went to the store and I seen everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, like he is like serious about this.
Yeah.
Not very often do you see. I mean, you know how Facebook is. It's like, okay, people are telling stories, but is it really true?
I
so
say that
at this
too.
particular time, I saw it. It was real.
Yeah.
So so that was one date, and then the second date, and then the rest is history.
Okay.
It'll be 5 years. February, this is our anniversary month.
I love that. Mine too, the 12th. It'll be 6 years
Yes,
for me. So
yes.
that's amazing. So is that how the I'm So DC was birthed? Doing the courting and the dating? Like how did that come about?
Well, I'm So DC was before me.
Okay.
It was before me. But it wasn't socially out there, right? I think it was just a small project that he had been working on and still selling items, but not doing pop-up shops, and not
Yes.
networking,
Yes.
and not, again, introducing the brand to the social media
Got it.
atmosphere.
Got it.
So it was definitely there before I
So
came.
before you move on, while I have the train of thought, because it sounds like you're not taking anything from you, Beyshan, but it sounds like you're the brains and the moving parts behind the marketing and the push. So I kind of want to talk more to you a little bit, Beyshan, about the idea of I'm So DC. Where did that come from?
Well, the idea from I'm So DC basically came from people say I'm So DC, I'm this, I'm that on
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram. I'm like, what? Damn, nobody's making T-shirts with it.
Yeah.
So I started making T-shirts, and I did I'm So DC. I did I'm So Atlanta. I'm So Jersey, and I went to the different places and passed out T-shirts, and people started liking it. So met up with Francis. She said, you know what? I think that's a good idea. So I wasn't really Facebook savvy, none of that kind of stuff. I'm a designer. I'm an
Gotcha.
entrepreneur, so I kind of like a go-getter. So she said, we'll put it on Facebook, and it kind of went off from there.
Gotcha. I
That's
love
a good
that.
look, definitely.
That was definitely smart to capitalize on, for sure. Now, who was the brains behind the logo? Because that logo is powerful. It speaks
Yeah, I did the
so
logo
much
and
of
everything.
DC.
Yeah. Did the logo, looked at it, I'm like, well, damn. And we try to get it, we try to register with them. We get I'm so DC and we from DC. That's big.
Yeah.
So we waited a couple years to get it, and then all of a sudden it popped up. So I'm like, nah, this is it. It's time to go. From there, we never look back from there.
That is amazing. So how do you guys come up with the concept and the design for your clothing? Because just the logo itself just stands out. And even when I look at the one that you have, it's so different from, so is that what you would call your staple logo, the one that you have on? Or is it
It's
the one on your
I'm
head?
so DC with the star in the middle.
With the star, okay. So who comes up with, well, how do you go about coming up with the concept for the designs?
Concept is, for me, fashion is everything. It's like,
Yeah,
I used to work for Hugo Boss, Sobiato, and I've seen all fashion come through the doors, from Versace to Dolce & Gabbana, I mean, big names. So I'm like, DC had it's like everybody, New Balance, something like that. But I'm like, you know what, let's put a little fashion to it.
yeah,
We don't want to give you the high prices like a Dolce & Gabbana or Versace, but we're going to be right there. We're going to have some fun with it. Gucci,
yeah.
and we can have fun with it. Make it happen. People love it. So they love it, I love it. I don't really do it. I don't do it for the money. For me, it's like, it's part of my arm. It's like, this is what I do. I mean, I do it for free. I mean, I love what I do. 24/7 I'm working.
I love
make it
that.
happen. So it's definitely a good look.
And you can definitely tell that you have a passion for it. I mean, it speaks through the creativity, through basically the branding and everything. Like, my eyes are just going all over the place with the branding. Like, the branding is amazing. It's out of this world. So what made you guys decide that, okay, it's time to really do a storefront? Because like you said, you and I met where you were doing like pop-ups and things of that nature. Like, at what point did you guys say, okay, I'm ready to take this to another level, in addition to doing, like the pop-ups and things of that nature?
COVID definitely inspired us to just step out on faith.
Gotcha.
That and needing elbow room.
Yes,
we needed
yes,
more room.
Yes.
We needed
those pop-ups are very.
Yeah, and we needed. I mean, we had been in that space for 2 years, and it was time.
Yeah.
It was just time.
You definitely know when it's time, for sure. So, to the point that you just made, so you guys got your storefront during COVID. I know you said earlier that you guys, it really tested you guys and it made you guys step out on faith.
Yes.
But you guys actually opened up the storefront during COVID.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That is really amazing. So what do you feel like you guys are doing different? And I'd like to hear the answer from both of you guys to get the perspective. What do you think you guys are doing different? Because like I said, you guys are killing it. You're coming down my timeline. You're pushing out new material. It seems like every day people are in the store, because you're on my timeline so much. I want to get into the store, but I just haven't had a chance to. So when I see you guys in the pictures with your customers, I know they had that feeling too. So what is it that you would say that you're doing different to stand out, where your business is still flourishing and it's growing even more during this time? Because it's hard for some people.
Well, let me answer this one.
Well, both of you can answer.
Okay, cool.
I'm just
So
interested in hear
different,
both of your perspectives.
Like every store I ever worked at or owned, we got like 80-year-old people coming in, 70-year-old people wanting to buy a T-shirt. So if your grandmom coming in, like that's big. That's big. We got doctors coming in. We got lawyers coming in. Johnny Simpson brought some stuff from us. Like, we got a lot of people, a lot of out-of-towners coming.
Wow.
And they touching.
And how does that make you feel when you just have so many different people, celebrities, all walks of life, ages? How does that make you feel?
Well, for me, I mean, I definitely feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? When you purchase something, it's like, man, that's nice, because you could go anywhere in the world to buy something, but you come to us, and that definitely makes you feel good. It gives me the drive to keep it going to the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. So that's definitely a good look.
Absolutely. And so for you, I'll ask you the same question.
And it's bridging the gap. You
Bridging
want
the gap.
something that everybody can wear.
Yeah.
From, we've made onesies, we've made items for pets. I mean, you have to cover it. You have to be thorough.
Because I inbox you. I have 3 fur babies. And I'm like, listen, how can I get one of those?
Yeah, and then also highlighting the customers is a big deal too. Like everybody wants to show their support, so why not give them the opportunity to do that?
That is so
You know,
smart.
and it's fun and it's special, and you know the conversations that I have. I mean, it's a big deal.
I could tell.
It's a big deal, and I love it.
I can
love
tell, and I can feel that through the pictures.
Yeah.
You know, highlighting or spotlighting you guys as customers. I can feel that through the pictures. So that's really, really important. So I'll ask you, what are some of your success habits?
Consistency, meditation. You know, because sometimes things get overwhelming.
Sure.
You know,
Yep.
you just need a minute to just step away and just try to refresh yourself. But consistency is definitely key. I'm up every morning, right?
Absolutely.
Probably about an hour before I even post because I'm just kind of checking things out.
Strategizing.
Just checking things out. And then I'm posting. I try not to post anything twice, you
Yes.
know. I'm fortunate enough to post on different platforms.
Good,
Facebook, the Memories Facebook, and I grew up in DC, and I just want to show different pictures on every different platform, so everything is fresh and new.
I
So
love it.
that is definitely a huge step.
Right.
Yeah.
That's key. No, I love it. I mean, anybody that can master social media, I give them their credit because I'm still learning.
Yeah, and I am too.
But like you said,
Yeah.
the branding is important, making sure that you don't post more than one thing twice. You know what I mean? So just being strategic
Yeah.
about it, being consistent so, you know, your viewers and your customers know that you're serious.
Yeah.
So kudos to you on that because
Thank you.
I'm still learning. And like I said, what you're doing is working.
Thank you.
Because every time you come down my timeline, I'm like, I want that. I
Yeah.
want that.
And it's truly a team effort. You know,
Good.
it's like a whole. It's him and I. It's our customers.
Yes.
It's our
I
customers'
love that.
family.
Yeah.
Everybody's sharing and reposting, and it's just a big deal. It's like DC needed this.
Yes.
They needed
I
something to
agree.
bridge the gap. They needed something just to hold on to and to incorporate fashion and something fresh and bling. People love bling.
Yes.
You know, it's a huge deal.
I
So
agree.
I'm proud to
agree.
be a part of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you the same question. What are some of your success habits?
Consistency. Definitely
Consistent.
that.
You can't
Yeah.
take hers. No, I'm kidding.
Just, I don't know, energy. I like just to
Yeah.
drive. That's a drive. Like I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just to take anything and make it bigger than light is like a plus. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing.
I agree.
saying?
So my thing is you have to be motivated in order to motivate. And that I feel like is in alignment with the energy. So I definitely understand where you're coming from in that aspect. So what's next for you guys? Are you guys opening up a I'm So DC 2? Like what? You like, tell me, because that foot is wiggling, guys. Y'all can't see it. That foot is wiggling.
We're working. You know,
Good.
we're working. You know, we got a few irons in the fire.
Sure.
And we want to expand, and we want to go outside of DC as well.
I
You know,
love
this
that. I
thing
can
can
see
go
you guys.
on and on and on.
Of
So the
course.
sky is the limit, you know, and stay tuned. Where are we?
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
I could definitely see that
Yeah.
for sure. So in terms of what you're saying, like you guys want to grow outside of the DC area, is it anyone else or any other brands that you want to collaborate with?
I think we're open. You know, I mean, it's no competition here.
Absolutely.
You know, so
That's why you
work
collaboration.
together.
That's
We can
so
all have a
important.
good time. So I mean, I'm open to that conversation.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's why I worded it the way that I did, because there is a big difference between competition and collaboration.
Yeah.
So I definitely love that. The other thing I was going to say, I'll ask you first, Beyshan. What advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur?
You're going to have a lot of bad days.
Yes, of course.
And it's nothing is overnight. Like, I've been doing this for probably 30 years. And I think this year is probably one of my better years
Amen.
out of 30 years. But I never gave up. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And I kept hope. Like my man say, definitely God. You know what I'm saying? I pray every day. Me and
Yes.
God talk. You know what I'm saying?
You
And
better.
you know, it's just, you know, you got to stay focused, tunnel vision, because you got so many things coming at you. But sometimes you got to be, you know what? You know, guess what? I don't know nothing. You got to keep going.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, you got it punching at you every day. So you just got to keep focused. And that's definitely, that's the advice. Stay focused, step away from the crew.
Yes.
Definitely do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So what does your support system look like? 'Cause that was great advice. You definitely have to stay focused, definitely pray, and definitely believe and manifest that what it is you want is going to come true. So my thing is, I always tell people, you know how, and I'm sure we all experience this, you know, we have a vision, we have an idea, we have a dream. And then as we start to execute it, or maybe sometimes we even talk about it to our friends and family, and we may not experience that same level of excitement. I always tell people, don't worry about it. It's your vision. As long as you believe in it, that's all that matters. So what does your support system look like?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you, people that's listening.
Yes.
It's been times where I got into a major mall with no credit. It's just that, you know, I went to the person and we talked, and they said, you know what? I don't care about no credit. You win.
Yes.
It's been times where I got into a store. I mean, I had about 10 stores coming up, and that's big. You know, what
That
I'm
is
saying?
major.
That's definitely big. It's just I believe, like I got a strong belief. Like you could tell me no, all right, no problem. I see you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the hardest might take a little longer, but I'm gonna get it. The impossible, say it's impossible to do it. For you it is, but not me. I'm gonna do it. And it is what
Y'all
it is.
feel that?
Definitely is what
I
it is.
feel that,
It is what it
absolutely.
is.
And I love that.
It is. I'm definitely like belief is everything. Belief
I can
is
tell.
everything.
I
That's
can tell.
everything.
Your energy just resonated through me, so
Yeah, that's
I feel the passion and everything. So tell everybody what your social media handles are and how they can contact you.
My IG is Beyshan_Tucker, and Facebook is Beyshan Tucker. Just simple.
Okay, and same for you, Francis.
I'm so DC online on Instagram. I'm so DC Tees on Twitter, and I'm so DC Apparel on Facebook.
Awesome. You guys go check out I'm So DC and get your picture taken.
Yes, come on.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
so
Thank you
much.
for having
We'll
us.
be back after this quick break.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I know it goes by so fast. It's so
The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk in, entrepreneur. Anything less is unacceptable. The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk in, entrepreneur. Anything less is unacceptable.
I am your host, Chelley Roy, and my next guest is Pastor, CEO of Word Movers Ministry. You guys help me welcome Pastor Quantrell Smith.
Amen.
Welcome. welcome. It is such an honor for you to actually be here.
Praise God.
It really is.
I'm on it.
I'm just sitting here, just thinking about how the roles are reversed. So you guys don't know, but Quantrell Smith, or Pastor Q, gave me my first shot at radio.
Absolutely.
I was a co-host on his podcast, and he entrusted me enough to sit alongside him to develop the necessary skill. Not only that, when he decided to be obedient and pursue his ministry full time, that's when he turned over his baby at the time, the cookout, to myself and some of the other co-hosts.
Absolutely.
So this is where I started. He gave me a chance, you guys. So clap it up for him.
Glory be to God.
So to be sitting here and the roles are reversed,
Wow.
and I now get to interview you. It's such an amazing honor. So for the people who don't know, who is Quantrell Smith and what's your story?
Quantrell Smith, now most people know me as Pastor Q. A little bit about my story. Was in the streets, went to prison for 7-8 years, came home, started my ministry. I do personal training, I work a job. So I grind. I just love to grind. I love to hustle. So, hustling is not about selling drugs. Like Beyshan was saying, and many that came before me. If you have that hustle, that grind, it's just something that's in you. You want it every day. You want better for yourself. And when you want something for yourself, it's just, you go out every day and you go get it, regardless of what time of morning, what time of night you up, you go get it. So, me, I don't consider myself better than anybody else. I'm somebody out there that want things, and I want nice things. I like nice things, and I'm not sitting back waiting for nobody to give it to me.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go get it.
You have
That's
to go
just what
get
I am. So every day I'm just a person out here trying to make it.
Absolutely.
Because at any given time it can be all snatched away from you.
You better say
So,
it. And so that's one thing I've always loved about you. You've always been transparent. You've always been open to sharing your story. So before we talk a little bit about you being incarcerated, what area did you grow up in?
I grew up in Southeast DC.
Okay.
Southeast DC, back and forth, Maryland, DC, so the DMV.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what mindset were you in when you were in prison? Is that what made you want to get into the ministry, or?
I mean, if you ever been in prison before, you don't want to go back.
Absolutely. I have not, but I definitely don't. Yeah.
And if you don't want to go back, then there has to be some type of change that takes place.
Absolutely.
And when you have that much time, then you start to be creative.
Yes.
And that this starts with self. And how am I not going to end back up here? It has to do with, with change. And seeking a higher power to me was my way of change. And
Absolutely.
Because, you don't want to go back. So listen, I want to know what does God have for me?
Yes.
And I believe in finding out what He has for me. I have to be able to know who He is, submit, and then allow it to all come together. Trust Him, trust what He has for me, which I believe is always greater than what I have for myself, or what I can envision. Just like this right here. When you first came on the set, I didn't know this what God had for you.
Yes.
And you didn't know this what God had for you.
Yes, I did not.
So He tells us never to despise our small beginnings.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know that, from coming on Win DC Radio and being a part of that, this what God had for you.
Yes, amen.
But I always tell people it's never about you. Whatever you have is not about you. Maybe for somebody else.
Absolutely.
So I thank God that He kept me long enough to keep that door open for you to be able to walk through it.
Yes.
And then you have your own, you know what I mean?
Amen.
So that's just how that works. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Very well
So
said.
it's just doors open,
Yeah.
And it's time for doors to close.
Yes, absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. The doors opened for me. And then when you were at a position, like I said, where you wanted to be more obedient and really go full circle with your ministry, you closed that door and then opened it for myself.
Everything
So,
has a season.
Yeah. For sure.
Season here, then it's somewhere else.
Right. No, that is so true. So once you came home and you still had the mindset of changing and basically making sure that things started with you, what was that like trying to incorporate? Because I feel like it's different when you have like the alone time and you really working on self and studying self and working on ways in which you can change. But then when you have the opportunity to apply it, sometimes it could come across as a little bit challenging.
Yeah, I think the hardest
thing.
thing.
Did you have any struggles?
Yeah, a lot of struggles. I think, I failed a lot, but everything is a lesson.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing in life to me is starting over.
Yes.
Starting over is hard. Starting to build your credit, trying to get back acclimated out here in society.
Right.
Working a job, that's hard. And trying to obtain the things that you used to have, working an hourly job, and there's a lot of it is about stepping out of yourself, not allowing people, because, the thing about when you used to be out here, that's what people know you for. And then people can constantly remind
you back.
Step back. People always remind you of what you used to have. And when you don't have those things anymore, you don't feel like yourself.
Right.
So you got to build up self-worth. You have to say, what, those things will come. Eventually I will have those things. I have to be able to build me up, find out who I am outside of the things that I've had before, because I was somebody, once they took those things away, I lived without those things. So, I have to be able to build up myself, give myself some self-worth. And once I begin to tap into that, everything begin to fall in place for me. But it takes a lot of time,
It definitely takes a lot of time.
I tell you what, people see me, they think, it took a long time. There were some days, you think about going back, I heard Beyshan say, it's a lot of hard days in what we do.
Yes.
What we do every day is very, very hard.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, you want some days you don't want to give up. I mean, some days you want to give up, but, giving up is an emotion.
Absolutely.
It's just an emotion.
Yeah.
All winners have an emotion of giving up.
Yeah.
It's something that comes into your mind, but it's just an emotion.
Now, to that point, when you started over, when you came back, were there any programs that were available to you? Because of course you had, your own thinking, your own studying, and praying and reading and working on self and working on the ways in which you want to change. But then, like I said, stepping into it and having to execute it, were there any programs available to you?
There's a lot of programs for ex-felons and things. I didn't use a lot of them programs. My thing is, after 7-8 years, I already had a program. I knew what I wanted to do.
Amen. Yeah.
But there is a lot of programs out here that help people, just like there's programs that, that help people, financially. There's help out there if you want it.
If you want it.
And there's excuses out there if you want those too.
There you go.
What I'm saying? So there's help. A lot of times you just have to apply yourself.
You definitely do.
Because they're not just jumping out at you, you have to apply yourself, and there's definitely help.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we all talk about it on a regular, like every day you have a choice.
It's a choice.
To decide, whether you're going to do the right thing or whether you're going to, not do the right thing. So the other thing that I wanted to, before we talk about Word Movers ministry and a little bit about that, I actually put out a poll asking the viewers what questions would they want answered, or what is it that they wanted to know from each of the guests. And one viewer asked, or she wanted to know, do you think that God allowed COVID to happen so that it would draw us closer to Him, to have a closer relationship and to work on our flaws?
Yeah, it's a two-part question. I mean, we're all in free will. As I know who God is, he to me, He uses things which we think are bad to get our attention.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I think He pretty much has everybody's attention right now.
Absolutely.
So good things don't get people attention. I hate to say that.
Yeah,
I mean, your life could be just going great, and God will never have your attention. It's not until something bad happens that calls you to seek Him out.
Yeah.
So if I'm God, which I'm not, I would allow some trying times to happen for you to keep you close to me.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a sermon right there. God, the Bible says that God chastises those whom He loves, and basically what that means is that God just allows bad things to happen to good people.
I believe.
How I know God loves me? Because the trials and the bad things I go through every day.
Amen.
If I didn't wake up and then have nothing to go through, I would question God's love.
Yes.
I know God's loving because of what he allowed me to go through, the hate I go through, the trials I go through. You know, everything I go through, every bad thing to me is a representation of God's love for me, because that's God saying that he can get me through it or get out of it.
Amen.
If I wake up and ain't nothing going on, nobody talking about me, nothing coming at me,
Yes.
something is wrong. Because
Absolutely.
I'm supposed to create drama.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's what I do. I create problems for that side.
Yeah.
So since I create problems and for that side, like, it should be somebody in this room right now uncomfortable with me.
Yeah.
You can't be in this room and not be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
You can't be in this room with me and say, it's something about him I don't like.
Yeah.
And that's, it's not that I try to do that, but
No, I get
that's
exactly
what just
where
what
you're
I
coming
bring.
from. Absolutely.
Not being arrogant.
Yeah.
It's just because that's what comes along when you have this calling.
Yeah.
You don't walk in rooms and be liked.
Yes, absolutely.
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
I get exactly.
And
where
then
you're
you have to
coming- where you're
learn to
coming from.
embrace that.
Yes.
But the moment you want to walk in a room and be liked, you
That's
fail.
the problem. Yes.
That's your problem
That's
right
the
there.
problem. Yeah.
I know I've done my job when I'm disliked in the room.
Absolutely.
And he's uncomfortable and she's uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
That's all
you
right.
guys feel that? Absolutely. There's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Word Movers Ministries and where did you come up with the name?
Word
the meaning
movers,
behind that.
Word movers, like when I sold drugs, you know, they used to say the weight movers, you know, because we sold weight.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, I do the same thing with God. So it's word movers.
Yeah.
You know, I don't no longer sell drugs anymore. So the same drive I put into, you know, selling cocaine or, you know, whatever it is I was trying to flip, buy for less, sell more, make a profit. It's the same drive I just put into serving God.
Amen.
You know, and that's what
Yeah.
God, some people want me to seek him wholeheartedly, you know, and that's why the ministry is the way it is. There's no suits, there's no ties, it's no fluff, it's no show. You know, people say, I didn't even know you was a pastor. Yeah, you didn't know I was a drug dealer either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to advertise that. So
Right, absolutely.
it's not for me to know you, for you to know I'm a pastor when I walk in the room. I want you to respect me off my character, not by clothes.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because a dude walking here in a suit, then you're gonna immediately stop cursing and you're gonna fix yourself up.
Right.
Because a guy has a suit on.
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
that's the
care who walks in the
mindset.
room. I'm not changing.
Absolutely.
You know.
And you've always been that way, and I've always loved that about you because, like you said, you know who you are and you know whose you are.
Character
So
over
you've
clothing, you know. Character over
always
clothing.
been like that.
Always
been
character
like
over
that.
clothing. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell everyone where your services are held and when they're held, because you also do in person and online.
Yeah, every Sunday, 9 o'clock, we're at the Harborside Hotel where the Top Golf is. You know what Top Golf is? Harborside Hotel. We're there every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. Bible study Tuesday. I'm on every platform from Facebook to Instagram under Quantrell Smith, spelled with 2 L Smith. That's pretty much it. And you can find me. I definitely go live every day, praying. I'm in the gym. I'm a trainer, so
Yeah,
I
that's
definitely
really
try to find
important.
ways to try to connect with the community.
So you definitely do a good job with that, especially with because you do the live for the prayer.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's six times a day.
12, 6, and 9.
6 and 9.
Yes, like 4 times a day. We just do like a short prayer,
Got
nothing
it.
long. And the reason why that was started is because, you know, I don't believe in long, lengthy prayers.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I just believe in, hey, God, thank you for the day. I appreciate you. That's what it is.
Right,
You
and
know,
it definitely works, and you've
Yeah.
been consistent with it, and it definitely shows. So tell everybody who has the hottest talk show in the DMV.
The Chelley Roy Show is the hottest talk show in the DMV, and I pray peace and blessing upon it. Pray God just continue to enlarge your territory.
Thank
Pray
you.
that God, you know, continues to open up the door for professional interviews and things that's going to help you to be able to blossom. So pray God, and not that it's hot, but it's also blessed.
Blessed. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you again for being
Thank you for
here.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to Lamont Elliot, Beyshan, and Francis Hall from I Am DC. I Am So DC. You guys have been an amazing audience. I love all of you guys online. Thank you and have a great night.
Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk in, all people know anything less is unacceptable. The Chelley Roy Show. Welcome to the Chelley Roy Show. You're now tuned to the Chelley Roy Show. Walk in, all people know anything less is unacceptable.